when a dude sued his friend to steal Native American land. In 1795, the area now known as Alabama and Mississippi was part of Georgia, called the Yazoo Lands, named after the Yazoo Nation. Georgia's legislature sold this land at incredibly low prices to land development companies, but it was later revealed that politicians, including the governor, were bribed to make the sale. Outraged voters demanded that the legislature repeal the deal, which they did, even going as far as burning copies of the original agreement. However, this created a legal mess as some landowners refused refunds, insisting on keeping their land. Two land speculators, Robert Fletcher and John Peck, saw an opportunity to challenge the legal system to validate their land claims. They staged a lawsuit in which Fletcher sued Peck, arguing that the sale was invalid because the Yazoo land deal had been repealed. In their legal battle, they colluded with the goal of confirming that neither Georgia nor Native Americans owned the land, thereby securing their claims. When the case was brought before the Federal Circuit Court for the District of Georgia, the court ruled in favor of Peck, and Fletcher appealed to the Supreme Court. High-profile lawyers, including future President John Quincy Adams and future Supreme Court Justice Joseph Story, represented Peck, while Fletcher's lawyer often delayed the case due to drunkenness. The Supreme Court had to decide whether Georgia could cancel land contracts through its legislature. On March 16, 1810, the court ruled 4-1 in favor of Peck. The decision, based on the contract clause in the U.S. Constitution, held that Georgia could not nullify contracts it had already made, even though they were based on fraud. The court argued that contracts must be upheld to protect property rights, and that Peck, not directly involved in the fraud, was an innocent third party who bought the land in good faith. This ruling made Fletcher v. Peck the first case in which the Supreme Court declared a state law unconstitutional, establishing the precedent that states cannot interfere with binding contracts. The case had lasting implications, particularly in strengthening the protection of property rights and making it difficult for states to regulate private companies. However, it also reinforced the idea that Native Americans did not hold full title to their lands, a precedent with damaging effects for Native sovereignty. In the end, both Fletcher and Peck benefited from the ruling, as their land claims were validated. This case remains a landmark in the history of the Supreme Court, solidifying the importance of contracts in American law.